theme of their writing. But for those of us who are interested in romantic fiction, that doesn't have to mean a separation. I think it's important, hugely important, that we see different types of stories and romantic stories being told. And, it's kind of a shame that it feels like there's only a handful of us on the British scene writing.
So we're going to have done like 1 billion panels together.
Telling you like is Bolu there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's wild. But if any of you have an inkling to write romantic fiction,
honestly.
Truly. So I guess, changing things up a bit, wanted to ask you about thirst, or shall we say feminine desire.
Yeah. I prefer thirst.
I know that you, like me, were a big fan of the podcast Thirst Aid Kit.
Love it.
Shout out to Bim and Nicole. And you had this kind of notorious run with your former babe, Michael B. Jordan.
That man!
Yeah, I remember him. But what do you think about that kind of positive objectification? What does it unlock for us when it comes to ideas of love and romance? And if we adhere to a binary, why is it different for men than women?
Yeah, well, we're less gross than men. No, I'm joking. But actually, because the thing about Thirst Aid Kit, what was so interesting because imagine if a man had Thirst Aid Kit. Let me tell you what Thirst Aid Kit did. Like, it would choose who's a internet boyfriend. I don't know. Let's just say Michael B. Jordan, right? And it would write like a scenario about Michael B. Jordan, and it would be as simple as you come home and Michael B. Jordan's cooking for you, and then he's like, what do you want to eat? And it's just like so sweet, and it's just like a man. It's like domesticity, right? Yes. It's just like a man treating you well, and it got like sensual, but never get like raunchy, and it's just talking about like. He looks like he really loves his mum, or he look like he'll like love you really tenderly, or like it's more about respect, and just creating a romantic scenario in which you feel safe in. That's the key in it. It's like scenarios where you feel safe with a partner, and it's just fun and it's freeing as well because as Black women, it's again either desexualized or hypersexualized, but it's just us celebrating our desire. And I feel like with men, the objectification is more like we are literally objects.
It's more physical.
It's more physical, and it robs us of our humanity. Whereas actually in romantic fantasy, in female romantic fantasy and desire, we are imbuing and projecting our humanity onto this man. And of course it's parasocial, and of course it's not necessarily who this man is, but it's who he represents to us. And it's never gross. Of course women can be filthy, everybody can be filthy, but even that, it's just like, I was gonna say something, but I don't know how, but it's just like, he'll love you for a very long time,
Exactly.
It's just like simple as that,
But I think that's such a good point, because I think for me, the idea of thirst and feminine desire is about creating a life. There's a richness to the imagination surrounding it that I think is different perhaps to just the way men or masculine leaning people think. So I think there is that difference that feeds into what we do as writers, kind of scenario making, that is really interesting, and having an object of desire that might be famous or well known is about projecting something positive about our desires onto them. So I just think it's really interesting, and you did that in such an interesting way that people really engaged with. So I think, I just wanted to ask you about it.
It's so funny, but Malachi's like, I made Malachi read a book that Kiki really likes, and girls are going crazy for it. Like, exactly. A man who reads a book that she likes. Wow.
That's what you're looking for. You want someone who engages with you in those ways. But thinking more about kind of the storytelling aspects of what you do, you're kind of 10 toes into this kind of world of television and film. What do you think are the differences between visual storytelling and storytelling on the page? Maybe particularly when it comes to portraying romance, but outside of that as well.
The differences, it's so funny because I do take a lot from, like, with Honey Spice, it is very visual in my description, and in my script I am very, like, descriptive, because with the slight touches and the looks I'm very descriptive, because I want the actors to like it's almost like I'm directing through the page, because I want the actors to kind of like portray that chemistry, because for me romance is all about, it's like you said, it's all about chemistry. Like, I can have the words on the page, but it's about the looks, it's about the gentle touches, and it's not necessarily sexual touches. For me, one of the hottest scenes that I've seen on screen is in my best friend's wedding. And
Yes,
you know what I'm going to talk about?
I do.
And you know, Julia Roberts, being a menace, she has the ring of her best friend, her best friend's wedding ring, basically, that he's going to give to his wife, on her own finger. There's a lot of chemistry, there's a lot of, have a history, and he gently removes the ring off her finger with his mouth, with his teeth, and it's quiet, and it's intense, and it's hotter than any kiss. They don't kiss in the movie.
I don't think
they don't kiss in the movie, but it's hotter than a kiss, because it says everything about history. The fact that it's the ring that he's going to use to marry someone else. It's the look. It's the fact that they're not kissing, but it's so weirdly intimate. I think